sakes.
To show that I was never in the news about Sandy Hook. That's how it happened, right before they sued me. It was all made up. I never even really covered it.
Go to Google, search Alex Jones, Sandy Hook, go to the News tab, go to Custom Date from January 1st, 2013, so that would have been 2 weeks after Sandy Hook occurred, to January 1st, 2016, and I searched Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. And what you'll find, there's just nothing. There's not a single headline or a single story about Alex Jones being related to Sandy Hook. Not a single one. But the interesting thing is, change the parameters from January 1st, 2016 to January 1st, 2020, suddenly there's thousands. And it just goes on and on and on. The first story relating Alex Jones to Sandy Hook was literally 1 week after the election in 2016. Sandy Hook truther Alex Jones says he got a nice thank you call from the president-elect. And then it was 1 day after that, daughter of Sandy Hook victim demands Donald Trump disown Alex Jones. I want to impress upon you what's actually behind this whole thing. They decided that a good attack vector on Donald Trump was to associate Alex Jones with Donald Trump and Alex Jones with Sandy Hook for years and years. That was never a thing. It's all absurd, but that's just my personal view.
They made me this guy, and then they said to Jack Dorsey, they said, Jones yesterday said, murder everyone guns, are you for that? Notice it in the clip. I said, no such thing. He said, nothing. Didn't even say it. But it was just, I was banned for, they broke into Dick Rose's house, trying to attack his wife. And I said, if you have to attack your house, you're going to have to battle right away and finish on it. That turned into Alex Jones says, full members of the press. Alex Jones says, kill Anthony for the last of the defend yourself. But again, exactly that's the problem.
No one had to fact check Jack Dorsey, but because it's a billionaire, because he's in charge of essentially a government-built propaganda platform. Oh, this is a trusted
People
voice.
say, oh, Lester, show me the book they're doing that. People said, he said, you don't know the rest of the battle line. And by the way, search for yourself. You think that'd be out there. It doesn't exist, folks.
Well, private market.
For fuck's sakes.
Fucking media.
And the media is part of the problem. And it's more so today than I think it's ever been. And, there's been aspects of it utilized in the past, but now it is completely one system. And the media, social, and that's why we played the clip yesterday, where, there's no denying that the media, these mega billionaires, like Meta and other social platforms, where they disseminate all of this tribalism mentality, and they know that it's effective. They have the statistics. They know what they're doing. And so now there's this predictive algorithm protocol that is taking away your ability to have your cognitive freedom. And that is the environment that we're dealing with.
But being aware of it's the answer. I don't get into that. But they also admit, because they've been using this too long, the general public doesn't trust what they say. So it's kind of a paradox, though.
Yeah, it is. And really what we need to do in this awakening, you're absolutely right, and this is what I preach with regard to HAI, Havana syndrome. It's all one complete system now. They started off in the early days of how do we infiltrate the human mind and how do we manipulate behavior. They really downplayed on the effectiveness of hypnosis, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people, look at Hollywood, really.
Putting people in a suggestible state.
Everyone.
There's electromagnetics chemicals for hypnosis. They admit the general public is in close to sleep state.
A beta mind read, right?
Correct. Yeah.
The first step was actually to discombobulate and confuse them, and then at that point, so it's like a brand new mind, they can introduce anything, and it's going to be more easily taken.
Correct. Yeah. You altered anyone's states. Right now the biggest tool is fear. When you look at the news today, everything is about fear. They want to keep the majority of the populations in these altered states. Then
they even try to take the power away, because about a year into COVID, the British, the Canadians, the U.S., the Germans, they all said, our military ran this to terrorize you to take the shot for your own good. This was a psyop with the shots good, which was a lie, but they even admitted to take that power from them.
They had already built up in the public's eye, in the mind, the deep patriotic, right? everybody was glued to these devices.
But it backfired because they said, oh, we're gonna lock them in their houses, brainwash them, but instead they got all our shows, and then it backfired. You talk for that, or did it backfire?
I think you're 100% correct. I mean, you dominate. You couldn't turn on X or YouTube or any of these other platforms without seeing it. Again, you're very truthful. You should be.
Not just me, but all the doctors and scientists that Joe Rogan woke up.
Yeah, I had about 10 neighbors